Most of us think compulsively all the time. That is to say, we talk to ourselves. If I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. If I think all the time, that is to say, if I talk to myself all the time, I don't have anything to think about except thoughts. And therefore, I'm living entirely in the world of symbols. Therefore, if you meditate for an ulterior motive, that is to say, to improve your mind, to improve your character, to be more efficient in life, you've got your eye on the future and you are not meditating. Well, meditation, when correctly done, has nothing to do with all that. It's a kind of digging the present. It's a kind of grooving with the eternal now. The place where it's at is simply here and now. If you simply close your eyes and allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you, just listen to the general hum and buzz of the world as if you were listening to music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums. It's all just sound. And if I am talking to you right now and you're doing this, don't try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand anything. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by or to birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises. And soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world come together. They are a happening. Your thoughts are a happening, just like the sounds going on outside. And everything is simply a happening, and all you're doing is watching it. It's all just sound. The place where it's at is simply here and now.
What is going on today, guys? Evan Aldo here. Thank you so much for joining me. Always appreciate you guys in the chat. Been doing it a while. What is up, Clay the Great? What's up, Harry Cowlick Jr.? I remember you, man. I remember you guys. Always appreciate you guys showing up, man. I was just thinking about, how many years, I've been doing this now, and it's, it's been a while. It's obviously still a pretty small channel, which is kind of, a good thing. I'm kind of happy. I don't have any major goal in being, overly famous or anything like that. I think there's a lot of drawbacks to that. If you, a lot of people have talked about that. So, it's, just happy where I kind of am. And yeah, and ultimately, let's see, what's up, Mark? Appreciate you, man. So yeah, wanted to, kind of talk about, for at least a half hour, 45 minutes here, talk about what's happening. ETH looks more bearish than most other things, man. I mean, just kind of textbook bearish right here. Money flow coming down, trigger waves. I would argue that that is more of a bearish thing. And if you do, break downward from, this is definitely somewhat of a reverse head and shoulders. I mean, you'd probably hit this pocket. I drew some new spiral lines. They're simple to do. Crypto Face made a video on how to do them. You go weak magnet on the weekly from these highs, from the candlesticks there. And I think the new ones are a little bit better. Always good to be updated. We do it once every 4 years. It looks like. We'll see what the next bull market, this next bear market brings or whatever for the lows. But yeah, excuse me. And, you know, it does seem likely we'd come down a little bit. You do have a little bit. Some altcoins are showing some strength. I was looking at ApeCoin. If you guys are in this Discord, you know I did do a kind of an a longer-term ApeCoin trade, which I do think is got a decent shot of like kind of fighting back, and it still is trying to. When you zoom in, it doesn't look like much is happening, but you made your higher low, so that's one possibility. And, you know, you look at kind of Bitcoin right now, looking decent on the daily. This is one of those, you know, boring type of, you know, markets where not too much happens. You're kind of range bound. My guess was kind of based on these, you know, trigger waves, you know, trigger wave format of the 3-day and things like that, that we would reject from this point. We still have not done so, so now we're jumping off at this point again. Generally a ping pong type of, you know, type of situation. And yeah. So yeah. Money flow coming up there. Bitcoin is not as bad as, you know, Ethereum. I wish I could, you know, be more confident, say like what direction we're gonna go in. It's a little tough to say at the moment. I mean, just trying to think here. I mean, I think the weekly is the main thing we got to worry about, kind of on the macro. You know, you get our money flow coming down. Now it's, you know, it goes back and forth, but now it's favored for the first Fed pivot to happen in September. So, you know, we do have that, you know, to potentially look forward to, which if things do come down, you know, if everything does come down between now and then, most likely we would see the pivot then. So yeah, there's that thing to look at, to think about. I'm trying to think what else here. Above VWAP, yeah. I mean, it's trying to trade this market. I mean, you could look at, you know, every time we kind of hit these areas, we kind of reject a little bit there. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking, man. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Over 75K. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the other macro thing, guys, and what's up, Plan E? Shout out to Plan E. You know, if you do form a reverse head and shoulders, you may have a very boring June. And from my experience in these markets, even for S&P 500 to a certain extent, I think, but especially Bitcoin, like summer is generally the least volatile. Like, I mean, obviously in 2022, June, you shot down, but after that, it was pretty boring, you know. I feel like you have at least a month to 2 months of boringness between the June to August area. And then once you get into September, maybe, I don't know if this has anything to do with it. Maybe your kids go back to school and then you have more time to trade. I don't, you know what I mean? Maybe it's that, but it seems like, I feel like the two times like a year where the economy shuts down like a little bit, not like shuts down, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, it gets more boring is like summertime and around Christmas, around that area, like that 2-week period, like last week of December, first week of January, that area economy is kind of boring, shut down. I would even argue like the whole month of like November, December generally would be a little bit more boring in that area, that 3-month period there as well. So yeah, what's up, Mark? And I mean, ETH, I do think you gotta, let's see, when does this confirm here? This blood diamond, 3 hours. Oh, I thought it was, that one confirms. So I mean, I do think you got a good shot at coming back down to this area at least. It looks like you're gonna come down on ETH, especially with, you know, confirm that's a trigger wave there. I mean, it does look like, based on technical analysis, that you would come down farther on ETH. I mean, you could jump up and hit 4,000 again, stay range bound, but I would guess you would come up. I mean, that 2-week does look damn. It is conflicting. I mean, sometimes people get a little bit frustrated, annoyed when it's conflicting. Conflicting usually means range bound, guys. When you see things that are conflicting, it usually means you're going to be more flat to more range bound. Like nothing too major is going to happen. So what would that tell us? I would assume that would tell us that, you know, you'd come down a bit, then you'd recover, you know what I mean? And you'd kind of just be, you know, range bound. That's what it kind of tells me. But, you know, obviously anything could happen. I don't know why I was looking at waves. That does not look too good. When a few others, you know, wanted to look at DOT. DOT was one that some people have been talking about going long on. And Trying to think here. Trigger right there. You know, that it's kind of it nullified. That's the thing. It's trigger waves on a lot of these. It's being nullified now. A lot could happen in 6 days though. But if we don't, I don't know. You could. I mean, the head and shoulders, guys. I would say is the least goddamn, like the least possible accurate indication ever. Like usually it doesn't play out. Usually it's more bullish than bearish, from my opinion. But this could be one of those rare cases where it actually does play out and you come back down. You know, let's be objective here. And the kind of the weekly right now, especially being nullified, would kind of support that case. So yeah, let's see. Summer, big shots going on vacation, so less money being thrown around, and retail is what people are spending money on. Yes, I would agree plenty. And a lot of people are going to Europe, you know, which is typical. I know Italy was talking about. There's some article about it. Italy could barely even handle the amount of tourism. Pro tip, guys, don't go to the place. If you go on vacation, don't go to the place every goddamn person goes to. Go somewhere more exotic. I don't know. Europe's cool. Like, I like Europe, but I don't know. I like to go to places that are a little less traveled. I've been to Italy. But yeah, I was already in Italy. They can't handle the damn tourism. It's too much. Too many Americans. Adiamo. I forget what that even means. But anyway, Cardano is an interesting one. You know, you're still kind of choppy here. Maybe getting a trigger wave to the upside, nullifying that, you know, blood diamond there. That 3-day looks pretty atrocious, though. I would argue you'd probably break down based on that. That 4-day doesn't look too good either. The weekly looks not good, I would argue. Maybe if you could get that trigger wave, it would save the day. Let's see. Amalfi Coast. I've been there. Yeah, that's where everybody goes, too. The Naples, yeah. Positano. I've been there years ago, yeah. Cool place, cool spot. In terms of year, I would probably go to Greece, or everybody's going to Greece now, or Croatia. Croatia's probably less traveled, but yeah. I mean, summertime's the time to go to Europe, obviously, because it's warmer. Scandinavia I would go to. Or really, Eastern Europe, Romania, Serbia. Romania and Serbia are the two people tend to like. Yeah, Eastern Europe. I mean, it depends what your goals are, you know, what you're into, what you want to see. But yeah, that's Cardano. I don't know. I mean, it seems a little conflicting, like a lot of other things. It kind of seems like we're going to be range bound a little bit more. That's what I would guess. Let's see here. It's Cardano, AVAX, obviously. Let's just look at some blue chips. Well, not really, you know what I mean. Like ones that likely will do pretty well in the next year to year and a half. Rejecting from that point, I would argue it kind of looks like you're going to come back down to these lows for a avalanche for a few of these. You know, it kind of seems like a pretty nice rejection downward. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, I guess that head and shoulder, if you were to break downward, if we really do see, I know it's just crypto, it shouldn't really matter, but I would assume if you see something like this, if you see a bearish summer, which it probably will not be this bad, I'd be surprised, but then you're looking at a Fed pivot probably in September, maybe even, there's no meeting in August, I don't think, but probably July could be on the table. I don't think they would do July though. Let's see, Atom and DOT both extremely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially when you compare them on the Bitcoin evaluations. I mean, this has just been pure, you know, you're either going to eventually break upward and come up to $30 or more, or you're going to break downward and go to oblivion. I would argue eventually break upward, following what we saw with Chainlink once it eventually broke upward. So yeah, and I'm just thinking here, I mean, let's see, Atom, BTC. That's depressing, yeah. I mean, you're only a few months away from a Fed pivot. Like at the latest, it would probably be in November. So, but yeah, Atom's definitely a disappointment. The one that's been interesting though, when we look at XPRT versus Atom, this is the one really risky one, but down a lot versus Atom. Maybe you got to jump there and do something if something does well in the Atom ecosystem. Yeah, no, I agree, Clay the Great. That's why that's why I like Atom. But yeah, QI. I don't even know what that is. What's Q? Oh, oh, I've heard of this. Yeah. Trigger there, but your money fly. I don't know. It's kind of looking sideways, man. Hard to say. I would guess he'd be range bound for a little bit more. Eventually, maybe break upward. Hard to say. So yeah, I wanted to look at the ordinal thing because this was making some moves. Yeah. So far, yeah, just that rejection potentially coming downward. I don't know though. I feel like I wouldn't count NFTs, and I consider ordinals to kind of be NFTs. I wouldn't really count NFTs just yet. What's up, Tesla, man? Appreciate you, man. And by the way, guys, I got a bunch of open trades in. Slow markets, we're waiting for some outcomes. Hopefully they do well. I think the majority of them will be winners because they're interested. Link down below in the Discord if you want one free month. If you sign up to any of the exchanges down below, deposit at least $100. I'll give you one free month in the Discord. Just open a support ticket with your UID. Layer zeros. I think Polkadot's a layer 0, right? Technically, I think, yeah. That would be the case for Polkadot. I mean, I could even see like a sideways choppiness where we are for a while, like a month, and then break back upward. I mean, you're at a decent discount for Polkadot. Oh, I wanted to look at Polkadot versus BTC here because that's probably an interesting one to. Yeah, definitely depressing there. I mean, it's kind of look for that 2-week. That could be your last chance. Let's see. I'm curious if PayPal has done anything. Probably not. Just that long time-based kind of capitulation. Man, that's done nothing. I think this will eventually break upward. It's just going to take a little bit. Oh yeah, render. Let's look at render. 5-day. I mean, you're definitely your 5-day. Your weekly looks pretty bad. I mean, it's almost a head and shoulder type thing on the markets ever be. And everything else looks more neutral to not too bad. I don't know. Let's see here. All right, let's look at H bar. Let's see. I mean, that monthly looks a little not too good. Diamond pattern, it's hard to say. I don't know. I feel like you're going to be range bound for longer for a lot of these. I would guess you'd come down to that point, but it's tough. I don't know. I would guess you'd come back to 8 cents or something. Let's see. CVS Health. You guys have some interesting ideas. Did I look at Proppy? I don't think I looked at it. Yeah. Nice jump off of that point. This probably looks better in a lot of other things at the moment. A 5-day red X. I mean, there was a buy signal. I don't really think you'd lose. You could hold up pretty well here. Hard to say though. This looks better than some other things. Let's just look at CVS Health. Okay, I'm just on the daily. Oh wait, yeah, somebody was asking me to look at this. This is probably one that, I mean, it's something people use typically. I mean, it probably will recover a bit more from here. I would guess. I mean, you got Amazon, you got competitors and crap, but you probably should see some short-term relief. XRP. Let's look at XRP. XRP, man, that's a snooze fest. I would guess XRP could come up a little bit more here. It'll at least be range bound. I don't know. This thing doesn't do jack. I mean, generally you break off of this, bounce off this point. So I do think you could do something and get some type of recovery. So yeah. XDC. Let's take a look. Take a look. Big point. I'm not too familiar with this one, but I would argue, yeah, around this general area is a pretty decent point. I just want to do a fib level as well. Yeah, right there. Got that fib. Was able to guess the fib. Clairvoyant. Hitting that point. Let's see. Yeah, I think you could jump from here. It's a little bit, that weekly's a little questionable. You got a decent shot, double bottom, similar to Proppy. You could jump here. If you lose this area, though, it gets kind of bad. Oh, man, let's see. Dot versus Atom. That may be a good, I like the way you're thinking. Let's see here. Right to that point. I mean, I would think it would eventually reverse and Atom would start to do well. Tough to say right now, though. This one's kind of hard to read. I would think you would eventually reverse, though, and Atom would probably outperform it. Let's look at Matic, sure. Matic, I kind of like the trigger wave forming on the weekly. It looks better in the trigger wave forming on the weekly than a lot of other things. You're range bound. You've been range bound for a minute now, so about a month and a half. You could be range bound for another month before breaking upward potentially, or even downward. Tough to really say, man. I mean, it kind of looks like you're just gonna go more sideways with a lot of these. So yeah. VeChain, yeah. So VeChain, I still think I think has a good shot of continuing to come back. We're messing around with that right there. What are we down from the highs here? 38. Yeah, that's the thing. Some of these, it does, it is questionable in a lot of these time frames. I think too, because you look at the 2-day. Let's look at the 2-day here, guys. See, it was all bright, and now you got gray. Next time it turns to bright is probably when you really want to start to get back in. That may not be for, until the end of the summer. So we definitely got to pay attention to that. So yeah. Let's see. Near. So I was thinking potentially if you could break upward, next place would be around $10 or more. It is looking more questionable on the 5-day. The weekly has a bear div. I don't like that. That kind of makes me think you're going to come down farther. You did have a damn nice recovery, but yeah, it is looking questionable. It is looking a bit more. It's looking a bit more like, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. It's just a glitch. I mean, I don't think anybody bought it 99% down. Was anyone able to buy it 99% down? What's up, Kalechi. Wax. I've heard of Wax. I mean, I don't know. If I had to guess, guys, I do think we probably will come down farther, but I absolutely could be wrong. I could see June being a more bearish to neutral month, and then July onward being pretty good. Like, I don't think the whole summer is going to be that bad. You know what I mean? That's what I'm kind of thinking. Engine getting close to a buy or DCA point for me. Okay, yeah, let's look at... Let me look at Wax. Oh no, it's Wax L. Hold on. Is there just a Wax? I'm not too for, yeah, I don't know. Let's look at Engine. It's a real coin. All right, I think this will suffice. All right, wasn't there? All right, there. Yeah, so much for a trigger wave. You've been really, you've been range bound to hell. I don't know. I would think you got a good shot of bouncing back off at 28 cents or something, potentially coming back from that. Blood diamond in the monthly. Maybe you want to wait for that next trigger wave. So yeah. Let's see. We could look at Velo. It's on Coinbase. Okay, there's a lot of new ones. Yeah, it came down. I mean, it's looking like it could jump up higher. Some of these new ones are riskier, but they could do well. It does look pretty good in the short term, I would argue, but be careful. Undo, yeah. Undo Finance. Undo. Trying to think here, man. Kind of new, hard to say. Be weary of that daily bear div, but it could probably come up a little bit more. That's 16 hours questionable, though. I don't know. Oh, you're talking about Wax P. Oh man, I was looking at this way back when. Trying to think. I don't think this is going to give us anything. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Trigger wave maybe on the weekly. It's been range bound. Maybe you could eventually break upward. I think you got a decent shot. So yeah. Alexar. I don't know. I do like the 5-day. Does it have enough juice to bring us higher? I don't know. This is kind of forming a reverse head and shoulder. I don't know. Tough to say. QNT. Don't know. Trigger. Right there. I don't know. A lot of stuff ain't looking, to be honest with you guys, I don't know. It's not looking as strong as I would have hoped. This is just ping pong. I mean, we'll see. Maybe the next, as these EMAs turn bright in the 2-day, that could be months away, though. I don't know. I mean, our short-term ETH is still boring amplified, but I mean, I think as you get, if we can get, something where these trigger waves confirmed in about 3 hours, then you'll more of a clearer path downward potentially. Velo could do well. A lot of these can. Oh, this was going nuts. I don't exactly know why, but this could keep going based on that weekly. We'll have to see though. My neighbor Alice. Jim Cramer's mentioned Alice in the past. I don't think he was a fan of it. So yeah. He's short. I can neither confirm nor deny that. It's for the premium members. Link down below. Apple, man. Fair range bound. Maybe we break upward. You know, double bottom here, W pattern, nice W. You could break upward in Apple, wouldn't surprise me. Man, trying to think here. Gold. Maybe you come back down a bit. The thing what the Fed would want to pivot to would be something like this. This is what the Fed would love. You come down, then that would probably be enough to pivot, and then you keep going potentially. When we look at the TLT right there, you know, 2 week, we're getting there. You know, 10 days to confirm. You know, it's looking more like this will continue forward. It's looking more like the 30-year will continue downward. I would think, hope, think, you know, potentially. 2 week. Yeah, I think you would come down farther here. I mean, it's still, I'm looking at, yeah, November 22 is where those rates really shot up. That was kind of the bottom for traditional markets and Bitcoin to a certain extent. Then you're, yeah, 3.4%. So I'm just looking at, it's actually lower mortgage rates, similar thing. Yeah, it's that 2 week trigger wave right there. Yeah, they were 7, so they were what they were end of November. So we've been, you know, kind of a long pause here. So yeah. But I mean, when would you see something sub 6 again? Probably at the earliest, like end of year, early next year, I would assume. So yeah. It's like a Case Shiller for real estate. You know, that's breaking upward. I would assume if this keeps breaking upward, you would need some type of rate cut within the next, you know, 6 months to a year, I would think. Or else this would come back down. If you look at the normal, like, way this moves, let's take off the EMAs just to see. I mean, other than your big drop down here, like, I'm just curious if we were to... I mean, this is pretty atrocious right here, 35% down. The real bottom had 2011 right there. Wow. So it was just a big consolidation. And then you came back, yeah, 18. That's when you finally came back for the most part. Just curious. Oh, I've never done this on this chart. Let's see something. That's interesting. That could be a peak up to that point. I think this would be one of the like first false peaks. But if you do follow, you know, some type of situation, I mean, it could even go, it could go up to even farther potentially. Let's get rid of that. What the hell was I gonna, oh yeah. If we were gonna like repeat this situation, you peak out in the late, you know, 28 or something, would you come back down to 20? Yeah, you'd probably eventually come back down to 21, 22 numbers. So yeah. Why is ETH not too bullish? 6 hour, 5 hour. But yeah. The Case Shiller as a, you know, as right now, I would think, yeah, that bear div, that was a good, yeah, that one right there. You didn't really have, I mean, you had a little, yeah, and then, because that was just straight to, yeah. Our regional banks sideways, yeah. Let's look at, I wanted to look at, just look at standard NASDAQ. I mean, here's where you get a little bit like you want to come back a teeny weeny bit, maybe a little bit more. And if you can get back to, Yeah. Oh, I didn't even really. Yeah. Now we're. Yeah, it's ping pong, but that weekly is concerning. I would argue at least a little bit. Monthly, yeah. Nasdaq is overall kind of more bearish, I would argue. And I'm not saying you're going to come down below 18K, but you could come down to 18K. Nah, it's a new one. A lot of stuff is coming into that. I mean, we could look at it. I've heard of this. Let's see here. I think it's on Coinbase, is it not? I don't know. Tough to say with this one. It's just not enough damn data. I would argue the next bear div in the 4-hour will probably do it. I don't know if she's got the guns to keep going too much farther. Could get up to 3 or 4 cents though, potentially. What was I gonna say? Meme. Doge. Hmm. Hmm. V-chain, yeah, I looked at this. I don't know. It is 10-hour now. You got a blood diamond on ETH. I mean, it's starting. I mean, the thing too is you got to follow the money, and the money's. I mean, the money can go higher here, but you've been in the green a while, and you're starting to come down a bit. So, seems like I live in a quiet and peaceful place. Why do you say that? Oh, did you hear the was there a train that just went by? Was it that? I'm trying to think. Trying to think what it was. It was probably the train, I would guess. I would guess it was that. But yeah. Oh man, oh man, oh man. ABT. Okay. Arc block. Yeah, big place right there. Bear div on your 4-day. I mean, I'm not saying it can't go farther. It absolutely can, but I mean, you're hitting a big point. Be careful. But it can go farther. Weekly. I mean, your money flow's still okay. It's hard to do really TA. I mean, if you're buying this, it's more on fundamentals, I feel like. I mean, kind of hard to do TA on some of these newer ones. Blood Diamond. I mean, I would say the TA is more bearish, but, who knows what'll happen. Oh, we got a little surprise to look at in a minute. 2 things I want to look at in a second. Let's see. Aerodome. Ah, man. That's looking a little... I think you may be sideways in this range for a while. You may retest these lows. Hard to say. What I wanted to... Oh, let's look at Theta. Theta was down a bit, I think. Yeah, I mean... Continuation downward on the weekly. Red X. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like our recovery is starting to get stalled. It kind of looks like AVAX here, so we may come down a little bit more. The other one, oh yeah, let's look at the fun one. This one's has been doing something. It could continue. As I predicted, Trump is now coming down a bit in the polls, you know, with the guilty verdict, making it a much more competitive election, I think. But the polls are, you know, they always go back and forth anyway, but, you know, Democrats are trying hard. They're trying hard, I'll say that, and we all know that, so we'll see. Maybe get some Trump in you. Maybe get some free Trump, up 100% or more. Maybe even more, who knows. GME, the kids have been talking about. Trying to think what that's done lately. Yeah, the volatility's nuts on this. Just a traders fund thing. Money flow's not awful in these higher time frames. Man, when you really zoom out here, you're still, yeah. It's a buy and hold. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I would think he would be range bound a bit, but this one's the hardest thing to predict. Let's see. Let me just look at XPRT just on the regular, because I did look at this earlier, but only against Atom. That's the place we got to hold. Some of these I think will hold the places that we're trying to hold. This could be one of them. The other thing too is, oh man, what was it? XPRT. What else do I want to? Shoot. What was it? Oh yeah. Looked at it briefly. Wanted to look at Ape again. Kind of similar in terms of, I mean, we're really waiting for that 2 week and, you know, weekly right there. Can NFTs really bounce back here? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I think we're really waiting for that 2 week there. We're almost there on Ape versus Bitcoin. So for the degen plays, the degen plays. And if we look at, just curious about, you know, what's going on. Mexico elected a first female president. That was supposed to be the one that was worse. I don't know. I'd have to read up on it though. There's 2 women running. So yeah, this is interesting. This happens at the same time as Trump. It's like we're in a damn simulation. So yeah. Street cred. Yeah, I don't know if the undecided voters, I don't know if it helps them, but it could go either way. But when you look at like just polls, latest polls are definitely a little bit more in favor of C. Like it was, if we look at just general C, it was mainly latest poll is a tie. You know, Quinnipiac is always more democratically skewed, but yeah. 38 to 38. I think that's high on Kennedy. Now we want to know where, because I don't think Kennedy's going to get that many freaking, you know, that many freaking votes. Like I think it would probably be honestly like half that or 6 or 7%. Where does that go to? Does more of that go to Trump or more to Biden? Who the hell knows? So yeah, hey, we can look at Sol. Now with that weekly, if we do lose this level, which we are currently losing, testing the level, then you could look at potentially coming down farther. That monthly is concerning as hell. Don't know. Let's look at, I just want to see the Binance chart in that monthly. Double tops type of thing. It didn't make a new all-time high yet. Yeah, it is a little concerning there. Definitely things are a little bit more concerning than they have been, I would argue. Especially with the NASDAQ too, that's looking a little bit more concerning as well. Let's see. Memes are cool these days. Kitty roar being back, yeah. I have Ape, if you consider that to be a meme, kind of hybrid of a meme. Bonk is, let's just see Bonk here. Bonk is not terrible right to that point. bear div right there. I would argue you'd probably come down a bit, but that is a bearish pattern, or bullish pattern, excuse me, reverse head and shoulders. Anyway, guys, I got to get going. If you guys are interested in Discord, link down below. If you guys want a free month, if you sign up to any links down below for your exchanges, deposit at least $100. I'll give you one free month in the Discord. Just open a support ticket there. So yeah, always appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.